I'm Will, this is Mike, we're the Tabletop Donkeys.
Hello.
And we're bringing you issue 22 of Warhammer Age of Sigmar Mortal Realms in this video. This issue comes with 2 paints, Mephiston Red and Rakarth Flesh. And as always, if you want to skip ahead straight to the playthrough, there'll be a timecode in the description. But having a look inside the issue, we learn first about Stormcast Eternals Warrior Chambers. Now, all the models we've had so far, apart from the Knight-Questor for the Stormcast Eternals, have been from the Sacrosanct Chamber, which is a specialist organisation of warrior mages. But the warrior chambers themselves are actually the most numerous of the Stormcast Eternals and make up the sort of line infantry of each storm host. And then over the page there's some of the officers of a warrior chamber and the organisation into various conclaves, which consist of different types of troops, including the Liberators and the Judicators, who are the most numerous kind. Then we have the Nighthaunt Rise of the Wraiths Part 3. This is more of the story of Nagash's search for someone to lead his Nighthaunt legions, newly arisen as a result of the Necroquake. And it gives the backstory of Lady Olander, whom he eventually picks to be his new Mortarch after she was cursed by him, but then he returned later to find that she had risen to command all the race in her home city. And we have Khorne the Blood God, one of the 5 gods of chaos that we learnt about in the previous issue. Khorne is the Lord of Rage and the Taker of Skulls, very unsubtle in his approach to everything, with a focus on combat and martial prowess. And also some stuff about his rivals, Slaanesh and Tzeentch, doesn't like either of them very much. And some stuff about the Realmgate Wars, which was the first battles in the Age of Sigmar when the Stormcast Eternals pushed back the forces of Chaos. And this is all about the forces of Khorne fighting in Akshi, the Realm of Fire. And that's also the subject of this little short story, Gore and Glory, which is about Khorne's followers battling in part of the Realm of Fire. Also mentioned there is a little bit about Bloodletters, the demonic foot soldiers of Khorne, and the Blood Warriors, which are some of his mortal followers. Then we have some guidance on how to add our new paint colours to the Sigmarite Mausoleum terrain. So this is the state of them here in this picture up to this point. You can use Rakarth Flesh to dry brush the brown earth areas to give it a highlight. It also tells you to paint all the smaller tombs and gravestones grey, because apparently we didn't do that before, despite painting the large mausoleum pieces grey and then dry brushing them with Corax white. Rakarth Flesh to paint every single one of the many skulls and bones all over the scenery. Dryad Bark as used as a base coat for all the roses, and then Mephiston Red on top, give them some colour. And finally, you can see there the finished pieces with all those colours added. Well, that's it for our issue content, so we'll be on to our new rules and our battle for this issue.
So before we get into our playthrough for this issue, we got some new rules for some of our models. And first up, we just have an overview of what Warscrolls are and how they work. It just sort of clarifies all the things you've learnt up to this point. So going over how big units are, unit champions or musicians, that sort of thing, and any mounts that are around. Goes over units' abilities, modifiers, and does explain what keywords are here. We did mention them in the previous battle. Also any pre-battle abilities you have. One thing to note here is damage tables. So sometimes when a unit has taken a number of wounds, its stats get worse, or it hits less, or it loses certain abilities, that sort of thing. We have a updated data sheet here for our Knight-Questor. He has one new ability here called Heroic Challenge. So if he is chosen to make a pile-in move and he's within 6 inches of an enemy hero, you can move an extra 3 inches in that pile-in as long as you end up an inch away from the enemy hero. Otherwise his shield and his Thunder Charge Strike ability are the same. And here it just clarifies the Heroic Challenge ability. So you can see the Knight-Questor's within 3 inches of the Glaive Wraiths, so you can pile in 6 inches towards this Dreadblade, and he ends within an inch, so it's fine, so he doesn't have to pile in towards the closest model. And we also have updated data sheets for the Dreadblades. They've gained, I think, 2 new abilities. I'm not sure if Curse of Loyalty here was mentioned before, but that allows them to reroll wound rolls of 1 if they're within 9 inches of a Knight of Shrouds. And another ability called Phantasmal Discorporation. So if they're more than 3 inches away from any enemy models at the start of a movement phase, you can remove them from the battlefield and then set them up more than 9 inches away from an enemy model. So they can essentially teleport across as long as they're not engaged. And it just goes over that ability here in the little tutorial. And onto the actual battle. So the Knight-Questor apparently fell in battle on Shyish, but has been reforged and is now tasked with entering the forest of Kurnotheal and clearing the way for the Stormcast, trying to clear out some of the undead. So he's leading a big unit of Secators into battle. And we have our battle plan: battle in the forest, 2 Dreadblades and 15 Chainrasps facing off against a Knight-Questor and 9 Secators. basically the same deployment plan as last time. Well, now we have multiple units, so when we set up, starting with a Stormcast player, we set up one unit at a time. The printed terrain doesn't make any difference. The Nighthaunt player gets to go first in the first battle round, and we keep going until one player has no models left. So we'll see how we've been deployed and get into the game. So we finished up our deployment. Over here on the right I've got my Nighthaunt, Chainmaster in the middle with a Dreadblade either side. Each Dreadblade is a separate model so they don't have to be together. And over here on the left we have the Knight-Questor just down here, and then the 9 Secretors. And the Secretors do have 3 Great Maces, because we only have 9 models, even though technically you should have 2 for every 5. We're limited by the models we have. I get to go first as by the rules of the mission, so I'll be heading into the Nighthaunt turn. So at the start of my turn I gain a command point. In my movement phase the Chainmaster are going to run an extra 3 inches. So you can see on the right there the Chainmaster have moved up their 9 inches after their run, and the 2 Dreadblades are just going to move up to keep pace with them. That'll be all of my actions this turn, so it'll be on to the Stormcast turn. The Stormcast gain a command point.
In my turn I'm just going to shuffle sideways, mainly so that the Nighthaunt have a long charge in their next turn, and also to try and stay away from one Dreadblade Harrow.
And that's going to be it for the Stormcast turn. So we'll roll off to who gets to go first in the next battle round. Rolling off. I got 6.
I got 4.
I think I'll let you go first. So Stormcast gain a command point and go up to 2.
I'm just going to continue to shuffle into the corner, basically.
Alright, and that's going to be it for Stormcast turn, on to the Nighthaunt turn. So I gained a command point, and in my movement phase the Chainmaster have just moved up their 6 inches, and the 2 Dreadblades have moved up 12, so potentially we can charge the Stormcast. And I'm going to start with the Chain Rasps. They're going to need a fairly big charge, but I can re-roll it because I've got heroes around. Needing a big roll. Oh, there we go, definitely going to re-roll that. So I'm going to spend a command point to use Forward for Victory from one of the Dreadblades on the Chain Rasp, re-rolling that 2 into a 6. That's still not going to be enough. Then the Dreadblades will charge. I'll start with this one. He gets a 7. So 7 inches isn't going to be enough to get him in range of anyone. Slightly misjudged just how far away I am, so I think I am going to stop there. And that'll be the end of the battle round, so we'll be rolling off again. So this is important, I need to roll well here. 3.
5.
Yeah.
Well, that will go first, so I can charge.
Yeah.
So we're going to move up like this, getting 3 inches away, or just slightly more, from those Dreadblade Harrows. And then we'll charge in the charge phase, and we'll start with the Knight-Questor, because he's got a slightly longer charge. He needs about a 5 maybe, we'll see. Oh, a 9 is definitely enough. So we will bring him in here. I am going to end up within 3 inches of the Chain Rasps, but there's not much I can do about that if I want to actually attack these guys. And then I'll charge with the Secretors as well. Oh, well, I'm going to have to re-roll that using a command ability, because a 2 is not enough. So we're going to 2 command points and use Forward to Victory. And 5. Oh, it's not better, it's enough.
It's definitely enough to get in.
5 inches isn't massive, but it is enough to get into within half an inch of both of these Dreadblade Harrows. At the start of the fight phase, I will do power to weapons. And then it's my turn, so I get to pick who fights first, and I will pick the Secretors I'm piling. So we have piled in like that. Everybody but this Secretor here can get within an inch of one of the 2 Dreadblade Harrows, so that Secretor won't be able to fight. These 5, including these 2 maces, will fight this Dreadblade Harrow, and these 3 here will attack this Dreadblade Harrow. I'll start with the 5 on this one over here. So we've got 2 Stormsmite Great Maces, 4 attacks hitting on 3s, 6 is R3, D3 hits each, so that's 2 plus only 3 more, so it's 5 hits. Wounding on 3s, they all, no, 4 wounds.
4 plus save. Well, I made 3 of them, so he takes 2 damage. I think he's down to 3.
6 attacks from the normal Stormsmite Mauls, hitting on 3s, 5 hits. Reroll that 2, still into a 2, so 5 hits, wounding on 3s, 3.
3 4 pluses. Oh, made them all.
And then the other 3 on the other Dreadblade Harrows.
Just these 3 here.
Start with the Great Mace, 2 attacks on 3s, another 6, so 1 plus 2 hits, that's 3 total. Hitting wounding on 3s, all 3 of them. 4
pluses. Oh, failed 2, so he's down to 1.
And we've got 5 attacks from normal Mauls, because I've got the Prime is one of these. Hitting on 3s, re-rolling 1s and 2s. Still only 3 hits. Wounding on 3s, 3.
4 pluses. Oh, failed them all. So this Dreadblade is removed. Yeah, but I get to pick next, and I'll pick the Chain Rasps to go. So the Chain Rasps have piled in, and these 3 here can only attack the Night-Questor, and everyone else can attack a Secretor. I'll start with the 3 on the Night-Questor first. We've got 6 attacks, hitting on 4s, 5 hits, wounding on 4s and re-rolling 1s because there's more than 10 members of the unit. Re-roll that 1. It's only 1 wound.
And I have 3+ save, re-rolling fails. That's 1. So re-roll. Right, do a 4. He's fine.
He's fine. And then we've got 25 attacks from the other 12 chain rasps, because it includes the Dread Warden, hitting on 4s. So we only managed 9 hits, which is pretty poor. Wounding on 4s, re-rolling 1s. Re-roll that 1. 6 wounds.
And I'll have 4+ saves, re-rolling 1s. Re-roll that 1. Into a 4. So 1 wound. You managed to wound this one over here.
Right, but that's it for all the chain rasps, so it'll be the Knight-Questor to fight next.
So by fighting with the chain rasp next, Michael's prevented me from using my 6-inch pile-in move towards heroes. He probably could have got in over here to fight the Dreadblade Harrow, but I can't do that now, so I just have to hit some chain rasps. I've got 4 attacks, hitting on 3s, 2 hits, wounding on 3s, well that's 2, and that's the 6 that does 2 damage.
Right, so use a red dice for the 6, saving on 5s. Oh, save 1 damage, but take 2. Take away these 2 at the end, and finally the Dreadblade gets to go. So you have 3 attacks hitting on 3s, 2 hits, wounding on 3s, that's 2 wounds.
So 5+ saves for rolling 1s, there's a 5 and a 1, into a 4. So it does do 1 damage, he will die.
No battle shock test for either side, and that will be the end of the Stormcast turn, on to the Nighthaunt turn. So as usual, start my turn again in command point, up to 2. So I was debating whether to have the Dreadblade fall back out of melee since he could get fairly far away, but I want to keep him around to keep any chain rasps that survive in combat, so I don't have to make a battle shock test with them if they take too many casualties. And it might be a Stormcast Eternals turn next and he'll just get charged again, so I think we'll stay in combat and go straight to the combat phase.
At the start of the combat phase, I will do power to weapons again with the Secretors.
I'll pick the chain rasp to go first. These 3 will have to fight the Knight-Questor, and then there'll be 10 attacking the Secretors. So starting with the ones attacking the Knight-Questor, we've got 6 attacks hitting on 4s, get 3 hits, wounding on 4s, getting 3 wounds.
3+ saves, re-rolling fails. There's a fail with a 1, which I re-roll into a 1. Oh, so he does take a wound.
He's down to 4. And then we've got 21 attacks on the Secretors, getting on 4s. So we've got 11 hits. We're wounding on 4s, re-rolling 1s because there's more than 10 of us. Re-roll that 1. Into a wound, so that's 6 wounds.
And we've got 4+ saves, re-rolling 1s. Failed 3, 4 actually, and there's 1 to re-roll. Into a success, so that's 3 wounds in total. So we will kill this one here, and this one all the way in the back will take a wound. Then I get to pick, and we'll do the Secretors because the Knight-Questor is now safe. And we're going to put as many attacks as possible on the Knight of Shrouds because he hasn't attacked yet, so that's going to be these 5 here, including these 2 Great Maces.
So everyone except the Prime and this Great Mace.
Yeah. And the Prime will pile in to make sure she's in weapon range. Start with the Great Maces on the Knight of Shrouds. 4 attacks hitting on 3s, re-rolling misses. So there's 1 6, and I'll re-roll that 1. Into a 3, so that was a hit there. We've got 3 plus a d3 hits. 2, so 5. Wounding on 3s. 4.
4+ saves. Only made 2, so he takes 4 damage and dies.
Remaining Great Mace on the chain rasps, hitting on 3s, re-rolling. That's a 6. So 1 plus 2 hits. That's 3 hits, wounding on 3s. 2 wounds.
5+ saves. Made 1, so that's 2 dead chain rasps so far.
And the Prime with her Storm Smite Maul on 3s, re-rolling all of those because they all missed. 2 hits. Wounding on 3s. 2.
5s again. Made 1. Made 1, so it's not. We'll just take away these 3. And then the Knight-Questor gets to go.
So he has 4 attacks hitting on 3s. 3 of them hit. Wounding on 3s. 6 is 2 damage, and 3 wounds, and a 2 1 which is
the red dice for the 2 damage. No, I didn't save any, so that's 4 more dead chain rasps. So I take the guys off at the back over there. And then the chain rasp took 7 casualties, so we get a battle shock test at +7. So 4, 5 or 6 and I lose some models. Well, I'm fine, got an 8. And then it's the start of a new battle round, so I'll be rolling off. Rolling off. I got 6.
2.
Well, I'll go first.
And we will do power to weapons again because the chain rasps don't have so many attacks anymore.
And then the chain rasps can put all their attacks on the Secretors. 13 attacks hitting on 4s. 6 hits. Wounding on 4s. 2.
4+ saves, re-rolling 1s. Made those.
Yeah.
We'll go with the Secretors, I suppose, so they get to pile in. So after a bit of shuffling, only this one here can't get in range. We'll do all the Great Maces. 6 attacks hitting on 3s, re-rolling everything. Only one miss. No sixes. Nope, no sixes, so just 6 hits. Wounding on 3s. 5.
5 pluses. Oh, we saved 2, but it's going to be enough to kill the remaining 6 chain rasps. Victory for the Stormcast. So we'll have another go at that game, see if I can kill more than 2 Secretors. So we've set up again for a new game, and we've deployed in pretty much exactly the same formations. And I get to go first again, so we'll move into the Nighthaunt turn. So like last time, the chain rasps are going to run. You can also see I gained my command points, but we get to run an extra 4. So like last time, the chain rasps have moved up there 10 inches, and the 2 Dreadblades are just going to maintain formation with them. And that'll be it for my turn, on to the Stormcast turn.
We're going to move up like this, not quite the full distance, but I'm sort of going halfway between hoping to get the next turn and considering that I might not and be charged. So we're going to go there and hope it. Yes, I'm physically in 12 of the chain rasps, so I can declare a charge, so I might as well. Double 6. No, and I won't reroll that, it's not really worth the command point.
So that'll be the end of the Stormcast turn, and we're rolling off for the next battle round.
Right.
Rolling off. I got a 3.
Oh, 1.
That's important, and I'm going to go first. So I'm up to 2 command points, and in my movement phase, everyone's moved up, so the chain rasps have just moved up their 6, and the Dreadblades have, one's come across the chain rasp, and the other one has moved up, so that they're about 3 inches away from the Secretors. So I'm going to start off my charges with the chain rasps. They get to go 7 inches, that's definitely enough to get them in. So after they finish their charge, the chain rasps are all in, and they should all be able to attack the Secretors because of their 1 inch range. And we'll do this Dreadblade next because he's got slightly longer to go. And he's going to get a 4. Well, that might be enough. Yeah, so 4's enough to get him to here and get within half an inch of that Secretor. And the final Dreadblade's going to go. He gets a 3. And that is just enough to get him within half an inch of the same Secretor. So it's all my charges complete and it'll be on to the fight phase.
I'm going to do a power to their shields for this combat phase.
So you can reroll failed saves, and I'm going to start attacking with the chain rasps. So they're going to get 31 attacks, because all of them are going to go for the Secretors. Those first batch of 16. So that's 11 hits so far. And then the second batch of 15 gets 7 hits, so that's 18 hits overall. 18 hits, wounding on 4s, and rerolling 1s because there's more than 2 of us. So we've got 5 wounds so far, and rerolling the 5 ones into 3 more wounds. So that's 8 wounds.
4 plus saves, re-rolling everything, thanks to my powered shields. So I've made 5 and re-roll these fails into another one. So that's 2 wounds in total. And we'll take out this one because he probably won't be able to attack this turn. And I'll pick the Secretors to attack before any more of them get killed. These 4 over here can only attack chain rasps.
Yes, that's 2 Great Maces and the Prime in there.
This Great Mace is within an inch of this Dreadblade, so it'll attack him, as will these 2 Secretors here, and this one over here can only attack this other Dreadblade Harrow on the end. We'll go for the chain rasps first, so Great Maces, 4 attacks hitting on 3s, 1 miss, a double 6. So 1 plus, it's only 4 hits in total. Wounding on 3s, 3.
5 plus. Made 1, so that's 4 dead chain rasps.
And 4 attacks from normal mauls on the chain rasps. Only 2 hits. Wounding on 3s. 1.
5 plus. So 5 dead chain rasps in total. So I'm going to take away these ones over here.
We'll do the Great Mace on the Dreadblade Harrow next. 2 attacks on 3s. 1 miss, but 1 6. Which is 2 hits. Wounding on 3s. 1 hit. 1 wound.
4 plus save. Failed, so he's down to 3 wounds.
And then 4 Stormsmite Mauls on him on 3s. Oh, 1 hit. Wounding on a 3. That's a wound.
4 plus. Made that one. And then the last Secretor on the other Dreadblade.
2 attacks on 3s. 1 hit. Wound on 3. Yes.
4 plus. Nope, so he's down to 4 wounds. Chain rasp down to 10 models. 1 Dreadblade on 3 wounds and the other one on 4 wounds. And I'm going to pick the Dreadblade on 4 wounds to go next. So you got 3 attacks hitting on 3s with his Dreadblade. 2 hits. Wounding on 3s. 1.
And I have a 5 plus save, rerolling 1s, 2s and 3s, because a 4 would technically be a success before modifiers, and I can only reroll fails. I've rolled a 2, but I can reroll that.
Yeah.
Into a 5, which is 6 saves.
And then 2 attacks from the horse hitting on 4s. They both hit. Wounding on 5s. Nope.
It would be my pick, but the Knight-Questor has actually been pulled out of range.
Just outside of 3, unfortunately, so he can't be chosen to fight, so the remaining Dreadblade. And the other Dreadblade has 3 attacks hitting on 3s, also getting 2, and wounding on 3s. Oh, 2 this time.
5 pluses, rerolling 1s, 2s and 3s. Reroll. No, 2 fails.
2 dead Secretors.
I'll take this one off this end, and this one off this end, because it's 4 damage. Kills 2.
We just remembered we've got the horse. Oh, it missed anyway, so it doesn't matter. So I have to take a battle shock test, because I took 5 casualties, and I'm just going to spend a command point and go down to 1 in order to not have to take a battle shock test. And there's not really anything to spend command points on anymore.
Well, then I have to as well, but I'm going to also spend a command point.
Yeah, and we'll put it back immediately because it's your turn next.
Yeah.
So it'll be on to the Stormcast turn.
The Night-Questor is going to move his 5 inches this way. He has to stay 3 inches from the chain rasps, and then he will declare a charge. 9. The Night-Questor will make it to there with that charge, getting in range of this Dreadblade Harrow, and we're on to the combat phase. At the start of the combat phase, I will declare they do power to weapons this time, the Secretors, and then I'll attack with them first to try and do as much damage as possible, basically.
Yep.
I'm going to split the attacks basically the same as last time, so these 3 Secretors here will hit this Dreadblade Harrow, try and get as many attacks on him as possible, and then we've got 2 Great Maces and the Prime on the chain rasps. So attacks on the Dreadblade, Great Mace, 2 attacks on 3s, re-rolling. There, the double 6. So that is 5 hits. Wounding on 3s, 4.
4 pluses. You failed them all. Right. That Dreadblade dies.
Then we've got 2 other Great Maces on the chain rasps, 4 attacks on 3s. They all hit, but no 6s. Wounding on 3s, 3.
5 plus. Oh, we made 2, so only 2 dead chain rasps so far in the Prime.
Hits on 3s, re-rolling. 2 hits. Wounding on 3s, 1.
5 plus. No, so 3 dead chain rasps. So we're going to take away this one, and this one. I'll pick the Dreadblade to go because the Night-Questor is probably going to go after him, and the chain rasps are probably going to be safe. So one thing we forgot in the last game, and possibly the previous time Dreadblades appeared, is that if they don't charge, they actually get an extra attack with the Dreadblade. So he has 4 attacks hitting on 3s, only getting 2, and wounding on 3s, getting 2.
And I have my 5 plus saves. Made 1, failed 1, but it's only 1 damage.
Yeah, and I've got the horse hitting on 4s, getting a single hit, wounding on 5s. No.
We'll just put a wound on that Sector. Pick the Night-Questor, and he will pile in like this, and because of his special rule, he can pile in up to 6 inches if he's within 6 inches of an enemy hero, ignoring nearby enemy models. Basically breaking the usual rules for piling in. In this situation it probably doesn't make any difference, but he has 4 attacks, hitting on 3s, but re-rolling because he's fighting an enemy hero. So I can re-roll those 2 2s into 1 more hit, so 3 hits, wounding on 3s, 2 wounds, no 6s.
4 plus. Oh, made both. And finally the chain rasps get to go, and they're going to put all their attacks on the Secretors. So they have 15 attacks hitting on 4s, so we get 6 hits, wounding on 4s, 2 wounds.
4 plus saves, re-rolling 1s, double 5.
Yeah, you're fine. And that's the end of the turn. The chain rasps only took 3 casualties, so they don't need to take a battle shock test, and then we're going to be rolling off for the next battle round. Rolling off, I get 1.
6, so I guess I will go first. We're going to declare power to weapons with the Secretors again, but I'm going to fight with the Night-Questor first. I suppose, and I'll use it to put all his attacks on the Dreadblade. 4 attacks on 3s, re-rolling. Re-roll 2, still a 2. 3 hits, wounding on 3s. Oh, well, okay, nothing at all.
He's forgotten which end of his sword's the sharp end again. Well, that's my turn to pick, and I'm going to pick the chain rasps to go, because there's 3 Great Maces going to be attacking them. 15 attacks hitting on 4s, so that's 8 hits, wounding on 4s, 4 wounds.
4 plus saves, rerolling 1s, 2 2s, so that's 2 damage. So the wounded Secretor will die, and the remaining Stormsmite Maul will take a wound.
Yeah, and then the Secretors get to go.
These 4, including the 3 Great Maces, have to hit the chain rasps because they can't pile in, but this one here will attack the Dreadblade Harrow. We'll do the 2 attacks on the Dreadblade, hitting on 3s, re-rolling. Re-roll that 1, into a 2, 1 hit, wounding on 3. Oh, we did.
4 plus save. Failed, so he's down to 3 wounds.
And then we've got 6 attacks with Great Maces on the chain rasps, hitting on 3s, re-rolling. No 6s, re-roll those 2, 5 hits, wounding on 3s, 4.
4 5 pluses. Oh, I made 2. Only 4 of them die.
And the Prime, 3 attacks, re-rolling that 1 and that 2, into 3 hits, wounding on 3s, 3.
5 pluses. Off it made again. 5 chain rasps in total are going to die. So I'm just going to remove all the ones that were here, I've extricated them. So there's only the Dread Warden and one of his friends left. And finally the Dreadblade gets to go, and he's going to attack the Secretors. He's got 4 attacks hitting on 3s, getting 3, wounding on 3s, getting 3.
3 5 plus saves. Oh yeah, re-rolling 1s, still made 1, so 2 damage.
And then the horse hits on 4s, gets a single hit, wounds on a 5, no.
So this Sequitur will die, and we'll put a wound on the Prime over there.
And that'll be it. So the Chain Rasp would have to make a Battletop test, but I'm just going to spend a command point to make them not have to do that.
And same with the Sequiturs. They lost 2 this turn, but I'll spend a command point to automatically pass.
Go down to 1. And then it'll be on to the Nighthaunt turn.
I'll do power to weapons again with the Sequiturs.
And I'm going to pick the 2 remaining Chain Rasps to fight, to see if they can do some damage before they go down. 5 attacks, hitting on 4s, getting 2. And wounding on 4s, getting 1.
4+ save re-rolling 1s, still got a soul shield, that's a 4.
Yeah.
We'll do the Knight-Questor. He will pile in round, just to kind of block the Dreadblade Harrow off, try and stop him getting to the Sequiturs. 4 attacks on 3s, re-rolling 1s and 2s, and 3 hits. Wounding on 3s, ooh, double 6. So.
Oh, well, 2 4+s, need to make both. Oh, I made 1, he's down to 1 wound. And then the Dreadblade's going to go, and I could pile in a round to attack the Sequiturs, but then I'm just going to take a Great Mace to the mush, so I'm just going to attack the Knight-Questor. 4 attacks, hitting on 3s, getting 3, and wounding on 3s, also getting 3.
So 4+ saves, re-rolling 1s and 2s. So not that 3. No, 2 fails, so he takes 2 damage.
And then the horse is going to try and trample him. 2 attacks, hitting on 4s, getting a hit, wounds on a 5, nope.
And that just leaves the Sequiturs. Great Mace will pile in. 6 attacks with Great Maces. Hitting on 3s, re-rolling. It's 2s. Still 2s, but that's 3 plus a d3. Still only 4. Wounding on 3s, 4.
5+s, got to make all of them. Oh, I made 2 of them, but no, they're dead. 2 remaining Chain Rasps go down, leaving just the Dreadblade, and that's the end of the battle round, so we'll be rolling off again. Rolling off, I've got a 2.
More than that, so I will go first. I will do power to weapons from the Sequiturs. They are within 3 inches of the Dreadblade, and I'll pick them to fight first. So possibly not the best choice, actually, because I can only get 1 Great Mace in range, but he has only got 1 wound left, so hopefully we'll finish him off. 2 attacks on 3s, re-rolling. There's a 6, which turns into 2 hits, so that's 3 in total. 3s to wound, 2.
4+ save. No. The Dreadblade goes down, and that'll be another victory for the Stormcast. So I think we'll leave it at there, and we'll recap these games for you now. So that was the playthrough for issue 22 of Age of Sigmar Mortal Realms. How did you think that went?
Well, pretty well. When I saw the forces, I was a little bit scared, but I think I was remembering how well the Dreadblade Harrows did against my Castigators in a previous game, who don't really hit that hard in melee and don't have rerollable saves. They were fine against Castigators, and they'd probably be quite good at getting up wizards and things, but against a frontline combat unit, a unit of 9 Sequiturs with 3 Great Maces will go through pretty much anything, turns out.
Yeah, I mean, I think we established in the previous issue that 5 Sequiturs can beat 15 Chain Rasps quite easily, so having 9 of them with the extra Great Mace.
I think I rolled pretty well for my Great Maces in general, and quite well for my saves, and I don't think you rolled that well with a lot of your wounding.
And the Dreadblades, I mean, yeah, they do 2 damage on the charge, but with your re-rollable saves, you still got a reasonably good chance of avoiding that. And they don't have that many attacks.
And with a combat like this that goes on for 5 battle rounds, they get that 2 damage at the beginning, and, well, yeah, they killed a couple of Sequiturs off, but then they're just mired in too many wounds.
When the first game, I made a huge tactical blunder and let you... If you got the charge off, I think you'd basically be fine.
Yeah, because that first game when I got the charge on you, I think I killed one of the Dreadblade Harrows straight away and damaged the second one. And then, yeah, without that 2 damage on the charge, they did nothing.
In the second game, I think I probably should have fallen back that 1 Dreadblade and just done a run, because you can run when you fall back, and then come back for a charge, since I could hold you up with the Chain Rasps. But it's just the issue of surviving in combat against the Great Maces.
And yeah, the Chain Rasps get a lot of attacks, but with re-rolling saves and so many wounds in the first place, you never actually got to the point of wounding my Great Maces, because I just had so many normal people to kill off first. By contrast, the Night-Questor didn't really do anything. In fact, even the second game, I might have been able to win without having him at all.
Yeah, I don't think you really needed him.
Because once the Great Maces got to grips with the remaining Dreadblade Harrow at the end, probably wouldn't have lasted very long anyway. Yeah, he wasn't that effective, to be honest.
Yeah, I think this is a case where the Dreadblades are... I don't think they're really that ineffective a unit. I imagine their ability to teleport, essentially, would be handy. It's just not really that useful on a board this size. Like, I could do it in the first turn and charge straight away, try and make a 9-inch charge, but unsupported, they probably wouldn't do very well. I mean, you probably want to use that to get them behind your opponent's lines to attack,
Yeah.
like ranged units or wizards and stuff.
Yeah, or take objectives. And as you say, on a much bigger board, it gives them a lot of mobility, but it's just irrelevant here.
And the other thing is they might have failed that charge, and then you could have just moved up and attacked them on their own.
Yeah, ignoring the chain rasps. It means I just get all of my attacks focused on them, so not really worth it. Much better to do what you did, move them up with the chain rasps, and then with their really long move, they can easily get closer than 9 inches and not have to roll a long charge.
Yeah.
It's just not worth it.
Well, I imagine against armies with only one wound, their charge could be pretty devastating, but again, with the Stormcast, you basically need to charge to take models down.
Dreadblade Harrows don't improve chain rasps, and you have several characters that do improve chain rasps, but not these ones. If you're going to be taking on 9 Sequitors and a Night-Questor, you really want to be trying to stack the odds in your favour.
Rather have the Spirit Torment and the Guardian of Souls. I do believe the Nighthaunt have other tricks and things to level the playing field, but in just a straight-up slugging match.
And the Nighthaunt have many various faction abilities and things, I believe, that generally improve them in all sorts of interesting ways.
Well, so did the Stormcast.
True.
So. But luckily, I think looking ahead in issues, the scenario writers remembered that I have something other than chain rasps. So we get to see some of the other types of ghost again, and I'm going to get some more Stormcast units, so it's not going to be all Sequitors and Castigators all the time. But I don't think there's too much more to talk about really about this battle and this issue, so if you like this content, please leave a like and subscribe, and leave any comments. If you've been playing along, tell us what you did or how you did, and if you have any advice on what I'm doing wrong with the Nighthaunt, do let me know, because again, we are new at playing Age of Sigmar specifically and with these factions. We've been the Tabletop Donkeys, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye for now.